Alrighty. All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, we got a bunch of participants in here today. Hello. Well, welcome everybody to the 7 p.m. class. For those who haven't taken my class before, hi, I am Julia. I try my best with the classes that I teach on more of a Hatha based. I try to make it as all level friendly as I can. I love bringing that beginner mind into each and every practice only because I feel like there's always something that we can learn from each of the poses that we do, the breath work, and yeah, and just always finding that exploration in that sense. So, with that exploration, today we are still going to be going through some twists and maybe working with a little bit of some revolvement tonight. If you've participated in my Tuesday classes or in my earlier classes, I just like to keep on with the theme with that. So, with that being said, I would grab yourself a strap if you haven't already. And with that strap, it could be a yoga strap if you don't have your own, just grabbing a tie or a scarf, just really anything that can help us get deeper into our practice. I would suggest grabbing pillows and blankets. As you can see behind me, we had so much fun in our yin class just a moment before here with when we really prop up. So I try to invite that into the next class as well. Because who doesn't like to be nice and comfy on a Thursday night? Okay. So bringing a strap, bringing a blanket and some pillows or blocks, bolsters, will help us through our practice tonight. Okay. And so with the slow flow, again, we're just going to be restoring a lot of the properties of our body that have worked with the twists. So working on doing some slow movements, restoring and working with flexibility onto the sides of our rib cage, in towards our chest, our shoulders, as well as we used a lot of the hips to accompany strength and structure throughout our asanas this week. So giving them some loving as well. And since this is going to be a more of a slow flow class, if you have an area in your house that is close to a wall, you're more than welcome to place your mat near it if you know that balance is something that we like to work with, or if you wanted to experience an asana on a deeper level with having some assistance, there is no shame in utilizing, all the props around you. So as we put our props to the side and come into a comfortable seated position, if you go ahead and take a deep inhale, bringing the shoulders up towards your ears, and exhale, rotate them back into the shoulder girdle. Having our chest lifted here and our tailbone slightly tucked. Now you can go ahead and bring some more depth into your breath here. Finding the full expansion of your breath from your lower stomach all the way to the top of your chest. So that as we inhale, finding this full expansion throughout the front of our body, the sides, and also the back. And exhale, releasing. At this time, you're more than welcome to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe that intention can reflect on what brought you onto this mat here, or maybe bringing in some depth and idea of bringing more motivation into not only your yoga practice, but anything to get you nice and physically active and moving during this time of sheltering. And with that being said, I've been putting in a lot of my own personal experience of having to stay at home due to my employment, um, shutdowns, and just all that stuff. And there are a lot of us that are working in essential areas like the grocery, or if you're a nurse helping, or doctor helping, a lot of us that are going through this difficult time, and banks, and our force between the police force, firefighters, just everybody that is still open for all the essentials, giving a huge shout out for giving us resources to keep us safe here today. So hopefully this practice will help bring a more of a relaxing state for you today. We appreciate all that you do. And once you have your intention set, you can bring your palms out to the T. And you can inhale, rise, bringing your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release, bring the arms to the side. Inhale, rise, chest up towards the ceiling, arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release, hands to the side. On the next breath, inhale, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, grabbing onto the left wrist. Lifting up through the chest, inhale, start to create a side body over towards the right side. Making sure that we root through the left knee and the left hip. And we are creating space into this bend. So we're not just cranking our body towards the right side, but as we inhale, we find a lift through our crown and through our neck and through our chest to complete this bend, bringing all the space for us to stretch here. Good. And the next breath, we're going to inhale, bringing our palms up towards the center, towards the sky, and then grabbing onto the right wrist, lifting up through the chest and arm, through the right knee, and inhale, start to bend your body over towards the left side, keeping the chest lifted. And bringing the arm towards the back of the room. Taking a few breaths here as we inhale, finding length through the spine, and as we exhale, finding more depth into your practice. And then inhale, bringing both arms towards the ceiling, palms together, and then creating the Kali Mudra. So it's like we're creating a gun here. Thumbs are pointed, the fingers are together, and interlacing the fingers. And with the traditional Kali Mudra, the left pinky is at the bottom, in case you were wondering. So then as you bring that gun up towards the ceiling, you can then point it towards the back of the room, keeping your elbows lifted, your chest lifted. At the same time, still making sure that our shoulders are away from our ears, creating softness into our face. And navigating this breath more towards our chest, opening up through the shoulders. Three more breaths. And then inhale, rise, bringing the gun back up towards the ceiling, so then towards the screen. And you can go ahead and release the arms. Go ahead and do some shoulder rolls here. And then reversing the rotation of your shoulders. Good. And then from here, very gently, Placing the soles of our feet onto the mat and then just rocking our feet side to side into long windshield wipes. We're going to place our feet together into a butterfly pose. And if you have blocks or pillows, you're more than welcome to stick them underneath your thighs or your knees for some extra support here. Good. This is for stretching everything out. We're going to bring our shoulders into the shoulder socket and pressing our hands onto our knees and very gently inhale, coming into a cow spine. And then as we exhale, rounding through the shoulders, chin to chest. Good. Inhale, bringing the chest forward into cow spine. And then exhale, round through the shoulders, chin to chest, the cat spine. Moving at your own pace, at your own breath, continuing to find as cat-cow motion with the spine. And then go ahead at 2 more rounds. And then finding yourself back into neutral, lifting up the knees, windshield wiping side to side. Then going ahead and sticking our right leg forward and then placing your left foot flexed onto the right thigh. And so this would be a good time if you have a bolster, pillow, or a block. You could place it underneath the knee, the left knee, so you can find a good support here. We're opening up through the hip socket as well as stretching out through the right hamstring. And this is another great opportunity if we tend to have a very rounded or a tight spine or rounded shoulders, tight lower back. You can grab the strap if you wish, and you can place it onto the right ankle bone and lifting up through the chest. Good. So as we find this lift through the chest, we want to keep the left foot flexed to the right foot flexed, right quad flexed, and lead with the chest towards the right foot. Coming into a forward fold here. And if you start to feel like this might be very tight underneath your knee, well, if you have a blanket nearby, you can kind of roll it up into a little blanket burrito and place it underneath that joint, your knee, to have more support here. Good. As if your body starts to feel overflexed or overstretched and it starts to feel more painful or uncomfortable, then you're not going to get to experience the stretch, since your nervous system will cause your muscles to kind of seize up a little bit. Good. So find that comfortable spot in each breath. Find some more length through the spine as we inhale and exhale, finding more depth into the pose. 3 more breaths. Good. And inhale, halfway lift with that cow spine. And then very gently release. Keeping in the figure 4 shape. We practiced this earlier today if you were in class. We're going to do a figure 4 twist, but instead of standing up and balancing, we're going to be relaxed here. So as we work with this twist, we're going to place your palms together in the prayer hand or Anjali Mudra. And we're going to very gently take the left elbow to the inner arch of the left foot, pressing the palms together and inhale, looking over the right elbow. So you got some good action of building some strength into the left shoulder as we're using that left elbow to help support. At the same time, pressing the left foot into our elbow, at the same time, pressing the elbow into our foot. Bringing the right chest up towards the ceiling. Left chest as well to follow towards the right side. And eye gaze over the right elbow. Three more breaths. And then inhale, bringing the palms back to the center. And then from here, releasing the palms, grabbing onto your strap. And if you have a blanket underneath your right knee, we're going to just slide the left foot off the right thigh. Inhale, bring the right leg up to the side so that the left knee is still on the pillow. The right knee could be on top of a blanket if you wish. And from here, we're going to go ahead and inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to come into a forward fold here, keeping the left or the right knee up, the right toes up. Maybe a little flexation into the quads, so engaging the upper thigh. Forearms onto the ground at this hip hinge and bringing chin to chest. And if you have blocks, you're more than welcome to place a block underneath your head or maybe stack one fist on top of each other. Three more breaths. Good. Forearms to the ground. And inhale, rise into that cow spine, lifting up through the elbows. And then very gently walking yourself back. Good. And then keeping your legs into place, we're going to turn our upper body towards the right leg. We're going to inhale, hinge forward, grabbing onto the right foot, or maybe grabbing onto the strap if it's still around the ankle here. And you can either choose to stay here in a forward fold, or if you want to add a little bit of some heat into your practice, you can grab onto the strap and inhale, bringing your right arm to the side to a very little twist. Two more breaths. And inhale, rise, coming up with that straight spine. Bring the right leg back forward, bending at the right knee, and go ahead and do some windshield wipe side to side. And then whatever pillow or prop you use underneath the left knee, you can place it over to the right side as we straighten out through the left knee. And again, if you have that blanket burrito, you can place it underneath the left knee if you wish. But you can bring the right foot flex on top of the left thigh into that figure four shape and placing the bolster or that pillow underneath the right knee. You can also place it near the hip crease if you need some extra support there. Good. Grabbing the strap and placing it around the left ankle bone. Left foot is flexed, heel to the ground. You're going to inhale, rise with that straight spine here. And as we exhale, we're going to hip hinge forward. Good. Feeling that good stretch into the hamstring. Opening up the right thigh. And through each inhale, we're going to find more length through our spine. So you can find that on your inhales and exhale, maybe getting a little deeper into the asana. Five more breaths. Good. Now the next inhale, slowly rise, coming out of that forward fold. Good. And from here, bring the palms into the heart center if you want to stretch out your arms, so bring the palms up. get a little stretch in, you can go ahead and do so. But meet your palms to the heart center. Keeping the left foot engaged, pressing the heel to the ground. Right foot is flexed. We're going to inhale, guide the right elbow into the inner arch of the right foot, and start to twist over to the left side. So at the same time you're pressing your right foot into the right elbow, you're pressing your right elbow into the right foot. And then guiding the right pec more towards the left side, guiding the left pec more towards the ceiling, over towards the left shoulder. Good. Finding a little bit of that engagement in through the chest to help you twist, as well as finding a lift. So it's not a shallow hunch twist that we're rising up through the chest as well. 2 more breaths. Good. And then inhale, bring the palms back in towards the center. And then releasing the arms. Guiding the left leg over towards the left side, keeping your right foot in towards the center. If you need to bring the burrito underneath the knee, go ahead and do so. And then from here, we're going to inhale, rise, stretching our arms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to exhale, a hip hinge forward, forearms to the mat. Leading with your chest forward so that we can lead with a straight spine. Hopefully keeping your hips onto the ground here. So actively bringing the tailbone back as you're bringing your chest forward. Five more breaths. And then on the next inhale, after the 5 breaths, lift up through that cow spine. And then walk yourself back, keeping the legs in place. Turn your torso over towards the left foot. You could grab onto the strap here. And 2 choices. You can either hip hinge forward towards the left foot, or you can keep the strap onto the right hand with the straight lifted spine and bring the left arm to the left side to give you a little twist. Good. It's whatever feels comfortable. We're not going to stay here for too long. Only for 3 more breaths. Good. And we're going to slowly rise. Bring that left leg forward. And then rebending at the left knee. Go ahead and do a little windshield wipe side to side. Good. And then bringing the feet into butterfly. Good. Just once more here. So we're pressing our feet into one another. We're going to go ahead and walk forward into a forward hip hinge in the butterfly position. So you're more than welcome to prop up the knees if you wish. You also have the option as you fold forward here to maybe grab a bolster or pillow to just kind of rest your body on top of so that we can find a straighter spine. You can be more relaxed into the spine as we soothe the hips up for a few breaths. Go ahead, take 5 more here. Good. Very slowly rise back up into that butterfly position, rebending the knees, rocking them side to side. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and come into a tabletop position here. Good. And then in tabletop, go ahead and do a few cat-cows. Bring your chest up, your tailbone up into cow. And exhale, rounding your spine into cat. We're going to go at our own breath and our own pace. So anything you can to reset your spine. So if you wanted to get a little groovy into the movement of your cat-cow, so you can go ahead and invite that here. Maybe getting a little wavy into the spine. Or maybe swinging your hips side to side. We get side stretches, meaning our elbow and hip together. Yeah. And as we find ourselves in the tabletop, we're going to go ahead, inhale, bring our right knee to our chest, and then exhale, bring it out fire hydrant style. Go ahead and find some circles here. You can reverse the rotation. Inhale, bring knee to nose into the center for 3 breaths. Good. Then on your next inhale, bring in the right heel foot towards the ceiling, pointing your toes towards your head and lifting up through the head, getting a little bit of that back bend here. Lifting up through the chest. 2 more breaths. Inhale, knee to nose for 3 breaths. Then inhale, point the toes up towards your head, lift up through the chest, 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, bringing the knees to nose for just 1 breath. And then guiding the knee over towards the left elbow for a very small spinal twist. Good. And go ahead and crossing the right knee over the left. So the right leg's behind the left, coming into a Gomukhasana, forward fold. Three breaths. And on the next inhale, we're going to inhale, come on top of our knees here, and coming out of that tabletop position. Good. In the tabletop, we're going to bring our arms forward here, tailbone up into extended puppy pose. So bringing the tailbone up, hollowing out through the spine, chest towards the ground. Good. And then from here, we're going to round through the shoulders, coming back into tabletop position. And we're going to bend the left knee into our chest and exhale, come into that fire hydrant style. And in that fire hydrant style, you can go ahead and start to find some circulations into the hip socket, keeping your toes pointed. Reversing the rotation. Inhale, knee to nose for 3 breaths. Good. And as you exhale, release. Inhale, point your left toes towards the ceiling and lifting up through the head and through the chest. Good. Pointing your left toes towards your head. And then inhale, 3 breaths, knee to nose. Good. And the next inhale, 3 breaths, pointing your toes up towards your head. Head is lifted here. Okay. And then coming back, inhale, knee to nose, just for 1 breath. And then inhale, guide the left knee over towards the right elbow. Hold it for 3 breaths, a little spinal twist. Good. And then guiding the left knee behind the right knee, Stacking up Gomukhasana legs, and then bring the tailbone back, keeping your arms forward, coming into a Gomukhasana forward fold. Three more breaths. And we can go ahead, come back onto our knees here, release our legs. Good. Walking your hands forward, coming into supported plank, engaging through the core, curling the toes, bend the knees generously, bringing the tailbone up towards the sky, and then coming into a downward facing dog. Pedaling out one ankle at a time. And then placing both ankles towards the left side, toes towards the right, warrior leg, stretching it through the right side body. And then heels to the right side, toes to the left. Good. Coming back into neutral downward facing dog. Root through the right heel and inhale, rise, left leg, three-legged dog. We're going to go ahead and bend the left knee and inhale, guide that left knee towards the right side. Flex through the left foot and feed it through underneath the right armpit. Placing your right foot at a warrior diagonal, toes pointed towards your left. Engage through the core and inhale, bringing your right arm towards the ceiling. Good. Lifting up through the right hips. Nice and strong into the core. Two more breaths. Good. Then exhale, release. Right hand to the ground. Good. And slowly inhale, come into a plank, keeping the left leg where it's at. Stay here for 3 breaths, hugging the hips together. Very gently release, bending the left knee back in towards the chest, straightening out three-legged dog. Good. And bend the left knee and inhale, bring the left foot in between the palms, coming into that running lunge. And as we're here into the running lunge, we're going to go ahead and take the left hand to the inside of the left foot, pressing the bicep and the left knee into one another, dropping the right foot at a warrior diagonal. If you need a proper block, you can place it underneath the left hand if you need to. But from here, we're going to guide the chest towards the right side, and inhale, bring the right arm towards the ceiling. Side angle. You're welcome to stay here or complete the full side angle by pendulum swinging the right arm down towards the front of the mat. Rooting through the right pinky toe all the way to the right pinky finger. Opening up through the chest. Good, nice and strong with the breaths. 2 more. Good. Then exhale, release slowly. Bring the right hand to the mat. Good. And so now we're going to lift up to the right ankle. And as we lift up through the right ankle, we're going to walk the left foot just an inch towards the left side, pointing the left toes towards the left side, coming into that lizard variation with our arms and with our legs. You can choose to stay here, or you can drop at the right knee. And if you need to, you can place a prop underneath the right knee for some support, like a blanket. Good. Staying here for just a couple breaths to warm up through the hip. Good. Very gently taking the left hand to the left knee and opening up the left knee towards the left pinky toe. Again, a good hip stretch, getting a little twist here. If you wanted to deepen your twist, you could flex through the right foot, point it up towards the ceiling. Keeping the right hand where it's at. You could take the left hand behind to grab onto the right foot, coming into this low lunge twist. Quad stretch. Lifting up through the chest, stretching up through the quads. 3 more breaths. Good, and very gently release the foot. If you're holding it, bringing the arm up back towards the ceiling. Good, and then placing the left hand the outside of the left foot. You could go ahead and come into a half split here, either pointing the toes up towards your face or towards the front of the mat. Good. And then as we rebend through the left knee, we're going to curl the right toes. We're going to inhale, lift up through the right knee. And I would place your block to the outside of the left foot. Because then from here, we're going to go ahead, square at the hips, engage the core, inhale, rise into high mountain. And as we're up here into this high mountain pose, we're going to go ahead and come into prayer hands. And inhale, twist, bringing our right elbow to the outside of the left hand, or right elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Twist our body over to the left side. And then from here, we could place our right hand to the block on the outside of our left foot and taking our left arm to the ceiling. Coming into a revolved side angle. You can choose to keep the back heel lifted, or you can drop it at a warrior diagonal, right toes pointed towards the right side, but that's a little more difficult and for our leg here, so it's okay to keep it lifted. And if you'd like, you can pendulum swing the left arm all the way towards the front of the room. This is a revolved side angle pose. So it requires a lot of opening and a lot of twisting. And from here, you can go ahead and drop the left hand, re-square with the front leg coming into that form running lunge. We could go ahead and from here, taking our left leg back into plank, pedaling off the knees into our downward facing dog. If you wanted to go through a vinyasa flow, you are more than welcome to invite that into your practice here. Any back bend of your choice. Good. And then as we start to pedal out through the legs, we're going to root through the left heel this time. Good. And then inhale, rise, three-legged dog with the right leg. Good. Pointing through the toes, lifting up through the thigh. We're going to bend the knee. Good. And we're going to inhale, knee to nose to the center. Good. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, bend the right knee to the left elbow. Hold for 2 breaths. Then drop the left foot at a warrior diagonal and straighten the right leg underneath the left elbow. And then as you have that, you can inhale, rise, bringing the left arm towards the ceiling. Two more breaths. You gently guide the left hand back to the ground, bending the right knee in, three-legged dog as we exhale. Inhale, rebend at the right knee. Inhale, guide the right foot in between the palms. And then you can go ahead from here. Take a breath into the running lunge. And then we're going to guide the right hand into the inside of the right foot, pressing the right knee and the arm together. Come into that side angle like we did on the left side. So you can drop your left foot at a warrior diagonal here. And bringing the left arm towards the front of the mat. If you need a prop or a block underneath the right hand, you can bring that into your practice here. 3 more breaths. Good. And after that 3rd breath, you can go ahead, release, hand to the mat, lifting up through the knee. Good. Finding that engagement through the core. And we're going to inhale, rise, bringing our arms up towards the ceiling to the high mountain. Good. Pressing your palms together to the heart center. And then from here, we're going to hinge forward, taking our left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, keeping our heel lifted or dropping it at a warrior diagonal. We're going to inhale, open up through the arms, placing the right hand to the outside of the right foot. So if you need a block, you can place it there. And we're going to guide our top hand or right arm to the front of the mat. Inverted side angle pose. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Good. Exhale, releasing. Right hand to the ground, left hand, lifting up through the left ankle. And then dropping the left knee in the top of the left foot. If you need to prop or put a blanket underneath, you're more than welcome to do so. Good. And so walking your right foot towards the right corner of the mat, coming into that lizard leg here, dropping the right knee over towards the right pinky toe, and placing the right hand onto the right knee, getting into a low lunge twist. And you're more than welcome to stay here. Or if you would like to explore a deeper stretch, you can point your left toes up and guide your right hand to grab onto your left foot into a low lunge quad stretch. Good, we get that good quad stretch going on, hip opening, as well as the twist. And a little bit of an arm balance since we have to use the left arm, so all sorts of crazy things happening right now. 3 more breaths. Good, very slowly dropping the left leg and bringing the right hand back to the outside of the right leg. You go ahead and do a half splits, pointing your toes forward or maybe up towards your face. And anything to reset yourself here. And you're going to come back to the Anjaneyasana prep. You're going to release the pillow from your knee, or I will, but anything that you have underneath. And taking the right leg back into a plank. And you're more than welcome to go through a vinyasa flow if you would like that in your practice. But instead of down dog, come into active child's pose. We're nearing the end of our practice. So from here, we're going to round through the shoulders with the tabletop, swing the legs to the side, and placing our booty onto the mat. I would have a strap nearby. And finding yourself in a position onto your spine here, hugging your knees into your chest. You're just kind of rocking side to side. And then as we are rocking side to side, we're going to just hug the right knee to our chest. And then bring the right knee to the outside of our armpit. And you can keep the left foot onto the mat or straighten out through the left leg. Coming into a half happy baby. You can either stay at this half happy baby, or if you wanted to go to an inverted pigeon, you can bring the left foot near the left shoulder. Good. And guiding the shin in towards your chest. So your choice. There's still, both of them are good hip openings. And then if you have a pillow nearby, I would put a pillow over onto the right or the left side of the mat. And so from here, I still have to grab the strap, and if I didn't, apologies, but grabbing the strap, placing it onto the ankle bone. We're going to straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to inhale, open up the left or the right leg to the right side. Just for a couple breaths. If you wanted to practice seeing if you can grab big toe here, you can go ahead and try to practice that. But otherwise, bring the straps back into both hands and bring in the straight right leg over to the left side. So maybe tuck in the left hip under. And if a straight leg is too much, then you can just keep the knee bent. And you have that pillow onto your left side if you would like to put that prop underneath your right knee, whether straightened or bent. Left shoulder and right shoulder are both on the ground. Two more breaths here. Now let's make it 3. Next breath, inhale, bringing the leg back up towards the ceiling. Grabbing onto the strap and toes pointed towards your face. Engage the quads. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Bring the thigh as close as you can to your chest. And then slowly bend the knee, release the strap. Place the strap to your left side, pillow to the right side. Hug both knees in, rock side to side. Maybe roll out the ankles too. And then once you are all reset here, you can then hug the left knee into your chest and place the right foot to the ground, grabbing onto the left foot and coming to the half happy baby on that side. You could choose to keep the right leg bent, or if you would like, you could straighten the right leg to the front of the mat. Staying here for a few breaths to open up through the left hip. If you wanted to go a little deeper here, you could bring the left heel towards the right side. Almost looking like an inverted pigeon. But it's your choice for either hip opening. And the next breath, you go back to that half happy baby if you were in the pigeon. And then you can take the strap and place it around the left ankle bone and straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Toes pointed towards your face, heel towards the ceiling. Engage the quad. Right arm to the T and inhale, open up the left leg over to the left side. Three more breaths. And then inhale, rise, bringing the right leg up towards the left leg up towards the ceiling. Good. And strap onto the right hand, bringing your left arm to the T and guide your left leg over towards that bolster or pillow. And you can either keep the leg straight, or if it's more comfortable, if you keep it bent here in the supine twist, that's okay. Whatever feels the most comfortable for you. It's Thursday, the slow day. There's endless possibilities of what we can do here. Three more breaths. After those 3 breaths, you can bring that leg straight back up towards the ceiling.
keep the leg flexed and strap into the heel. Inhale, guide the thigh towards the chest as deep as you can, and do it for the next 5 breaths. Good. And then from here, after those breaths, you can rebend the knee, remove the strap, place it to the side, bend both knees into the chest, and rock side to side. Get that good reset here. Roll off the ankles if you need to. Nearing the end of our practice. So taking the legs nice and straight to the front of the mat. Bringing your arms up above the head and taking 3 deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. After those 3 breaths, keep your hips into the center, but guide your upper body to the right side, grabbing onto the left wrist. Legs to follow. Again, keeping the hips in the center, placing the left ankle over the right, guiding both hips to the ground, shoulders to the ground, getting nice and tall and long into the stretch for 5 breaths. After the 5 breaths, you very gently release the upper arms, come back to the center, release the legs, come back to the center. Take a long body stretch, toes pointed forward, arms above your head, inhaling through the nose, and then exhaling through the mouth. Hips stay in the center, upper body to the left side, lower body to the left side, hinging the right ankle on top of the left and grabbing onto the right wrist. Good. Taking those deep breaths again, and a total of 5. After the 5 breaths, you can bring the upper body back to the center, legs to the center, taking the final stretch of the practice. Deep inhale, bring the arms above overhead, point your toes to the front of the mat. Deep inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Very gently placing your hands wherever is comfortable, and enjoying these next few moments here in Shavasana. And as we're lying here in our Shavasana, I picked a quote that resonated with today's practice, as well as what's going on with the times today. And the quote's by MLK Jr., Martin Luther King. That darkness cannot drive out darkness, and only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So as we begin to find these micro movements from our toes and our ankles, fingers and our wrists, allowing the energy that we gain from today's practice give us a new sense of awareness, reaping in the benefits of today's practice. Then next breath, we can bend our knees into our chest and take a deep inhale, arms above our head through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. You can very gently bring the knees either to the left or right side. Upper body to follow. And very gently finding yourself into a comfortable seated position. And in your seated position, you can bring your palms to the heart center. And then taking a bow to yourself and to everybody else that is sharing this class with us tonight. Extending the gratitude for sharing this space, being available, as well as wanting to have these classes during this time of either self-quarantine or times where it's not available for you if we are essential employees. And then just an overall thank you to all the resources that we have so that we can provide this for you tonight. Letting peace be still for the rest of your night. And namaste. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining tonight's class. It means a whole lot that y'all are so very active in wanting to participate in our online classes, whether it be for fitness, for yoga, for some mental clarity, or just if you want to see some familiar faces that you haven't seen in a while. I was asked what this was the other day, or was it earlier? I can't remember or tell. But this is aerial silk stand where I like to do some area yoga stuff on. And that's essentially what all these bars are. It's actually pretty big. It's like 9 feet tall. It can go out like this wide. We're not going to be staying here for the next year, so I'm going to miss this big old room. But hopefully the next place that we have, I'll be able to have my jungle gym back up. But that's what that is for the member who asked, and I don't remember who it was. But that's what it is. And you are welcome, Celeste. Continue to go onto our website for all the updates, but also for all the other classes that are involved. Not all of them are yoga. There are strength and ability, agility, and some good home workouts that we have live, and as well as Adventure Rock and Crux have provided onto the YouTube channel. So go ahead and check them out. So I hope everybody has a good night. And for those who are Ozark fans, I believe Ozark is on Netflix, but if you are an Ozark fan, they released season 3 recently, and it's real good. So go watch it so we can talk about it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pour myself a glass of wine and go watch some season 3. Hope y'all have a good night, and I'll see you later. And if you want to follow me on my Instagram for any requests, or if you have any questions,
for anything that is yoga related or want to talk about all the fun things. I provided it into the live chat. It's Climbing Santosha. Santosha means complete acceptance in the Hindu language, and then climbing, da da da. I want to help you climb to accept yourself instead of finding the superior union or oneness that is your ego. Just accept yourself, y'all. Have a good night.